Hi again. Welcome back to the small but mighty room of comics. Chocolate comics, nerd culture, back at it again. Less prolific. I didn't do anything yesterday. But I have another unboxing or arrival of new comics and stuff. But really major things. So I wanted to do a video on that. I have a couple other ideas of videos I'm going to be doing, but fit check. Another Golden Age shirt here. Super Mystery Comics. The superheroes punching out the monster with the hanging skeletons and whatnot. Busy Golden Age cover goodness. Yeah, so I think get right into it. I'm going to start off with kind of the more minor stuff, and then you get cooler, progressively cooler as the video goes on, and end with an absolute banger of a comic book. A huge comic I've been after for like a year, ever since I first found out about it. I've bid on this comic a couple of times. It doesn't come up very often. And it's very, very expensive. And this time I was able to get it, and I'm pretty stoked. But anyway, started off with, I have the first 3 issues of this. It's called Man's Best. So from what I understand, it's an adventure told from the perspective of house pets. A couple dogs and a cat. And I've heard it's really well done. It's from this Boom Studios, who I tend to like. This is a reading book for me. Very no value or anything like that, but I was just really interested in the story. Then, next, I have these. I have 2 issues of this I Lie Popeye. This is... this company, this Massive, has been doing these Popeye books. I've been told they're very, very good. The artwork is really super cool. And something that's kind of interesting, I just heard today or yesterday that Popeye enters the public domain. So there are no copyrights on Popeye after, like right now. So after the first of the year, Popeye copyrights are gone, so maybe I'll use a Popeye song or something on the page so they can't get copyrighted. I bought two of those. I think what I'm going to do is one's a keeper copy for reading, and I think if one is in good enough shape, I might send it off to get graded, because these are kind of in demand in higher grade. So I thought that might be kind of cool. Then went on to mycomicshop.com. Anybody who's shopping for comics, specifically if you're looking for Golden Age comics that are fairly represented. So if you're buying raw copies, the grade is fairly represented. You're not going to get a book missing pages or anything that isn't declared. Still, I've pretty much gone to buying graded copies of Golden Age, specifically pre-code horror. So I got a couple of pre-code horror books in low grade, but for really good deals. Like I think each of these, I think one was like $100 and the other was like $120 or something like that, which for that era is very, very cheap and very, very cool. So the first one is this. Tomb of Terror 5. I'm going to see if the glare thing I know is a problem, but I'll try to work with it. Let's go back this way maybe. But yeah, you can kind of see the glare is coming off the screen, so that's kind of what creates a problem here. Yeah, cool pre-code horror. The weird mummy carrying a wrapped corpse, and then some poor victim is about to have a terrible fate at the hands of the terrible mummy. And the second one is Web of Evil number 21. So, yeah, another really cool, 1954, which is right at the end of Golden Age horror. The Man Who Lived Forever. What horror did they find on the strange plateau of the Man Who Lived Forever? Death's Ambush. Spectre of the Andes, One Night of Terror. And you can see, there's like the Man Who Lived Forever, and there's like the hands coming out to grab the archaeologists. Yeah, cool. Up here there's a bit of it missing. It's a 1.0 lower grade, but I have been picking up Golden Age pre-code horror pretty much wherever I could get it. If the cover looks good and if the book is complete, I'm getting it in whatever grade I can. And that's kind of a strategy. I think that that's going to be. I think in the future, I think Golden Age, regardless of the grade, I think is going to go up in value. I'm gonna do a video on that, just on comic values and what I think as you're looking into perspective. Values coming up and what I think is going to happen over the short term and the long term. Next, got something really cool from Bry's Comics. Shout out Bry, really cool guy, and sells really nice books and I like what he's doing. I like his channel a lot. Shout out Bry if you ever see this. This is an Avengers #1 sketch variant, and this was done by J. Scott Campbell and signed by J. Scott Campbell, one of my favorite artists. I think for modern artists, I think most people like J. Scott Campbell. He does humans really well, does pretty girls really well, and all the pretty girl characters here are gathered around Stan Lee, kind of in the middle there on this Avengers sketch variant. So super cool. I am going to do a video specifically on signed comics. I have another signed comic that's coming. I don't know if I'll wait on that and do it as kind of like a total thing on signed comics, remarked comics. I have some out at CGC to be signed right now. But that's video to come. Next, I have something really, really cool. Betty and Veronica Spectacular. This is from early 90s. I know you're probably asking, why the hell is that so special? That is a very ordinary copy of a very ordinary comic book that most people would not collect. Well, there is a reason, and it's kind of cool and kind of special, and I think you're going to dig it. For all the 5 or 6 people that watch this video. It is because of a specific page in this comic. It's this page right here that's marked right here. And the reason that page is so special is because I acquired the original artwork. This is the original artwork of that comic book page of Veronica and Betty talking at the top, and Betty walking. And I got a really good deal on this on eBay, like unbelievably cheap. Like this was like $135 for original comic art of like 2 iconic comic book characters. I think most people, when it comes to Archie comics, they mostly collect Archie comics because they like the female characters. It tends to be what they call good girl art. A lot of it. There's also a kind of a subculture of Archie collectors who collect like double entendre issues. I have a couple like that where they're making subtle, dirty references sometimes on the covers or something that are kind of wild and pretty cool. But that comes to the big one. So one of my favorite artists, and again, along with guys like J. Scott Campbell and Adam Hughes and some of these other modern artists, I think that most people really like. A lot of people like a guy named Dave Stevens, and Dave Stevens came to more prominence this last year because there was I believe it's on Netflix, documentary about him, and people really got interested in his artwork. A lot of people were very interested in him for some time, but his books and his artwork really kind of caught the public attention, and he did a lot of like sexy girls, but also like really great art and all done very, very well, really intricate stuff. But a contemporary of Dave Sim, and like around kind of the same time and still around is a guy named Bruce Timm. I think he's kind of similar to Dave Stevens in style, maybe a little more caricature-ish. He's kind of mostly well known for doing kind of Batman, Harley Quinn kind of stuff. But again, a lot of focus on his female characters. Bruce Timm has several books that are very highly desirable, but he has one book that is more desirable than the rest. It's a book that's uncommon. I don't know that you would call it rare. There are very few comics that I would call rare, but it's a one of 1,000. Only 1,000 were made. This is back in 2008. But this was kind of a forgotten about book. Like, people didn't know about it really. And then someone listed a 9.8, I think like a couple years ago. And it was like the only 9.8 that existed. And it went for huge money. I know I'm filibustering a bit, but I want to set this up. This is it's Bruce Timm's kind of ode to the Golden Age. There are certain tropes that he's included here that are standard tropes from the Golden Age of comics. Pretty girl in distress, usually in bondage, evil Nazi. There's a real dire circumstances being painted. The only thing that's a little different about this one is there's usually like some hero rushing in to try to save. And this one I think is also an homage to a very specific Captain America comic where Bucky is being held, and the evil Nazis are like going to get him with like hot pokers or brands, or I don't remember which, and Captain America's bursting in to save him from the Nazis. So this is called 5 Color Comics #1. This is the Bruce Timm variant of that, and it's wild. And it is this. Yeah, it's obviously these tropes that I'm talking about. Whoops, wrong way. This is the main character of this comic. I haven't read this, but that's and she is obviously in peril. The Nazi with the face, the wild face, and going to brand her with the swastika, and and her in the bondage and scantily clad and things. But again, Bruce Timm art, all fantastic uses of shadow and light and shade and color, and just great caricatures, great faces, and like expression and things, and just absolutely wild for being done like in the era that it's being done. In the Golden Age, this was fairly common, And, there was a lot of like anti-war propaganda and things like that, where this would have been very a common type of a cover. But obviously, since then, this is outrageous, and this is again why it's why a lot of people didn't really know about this, and I think a lot of people would object to this right away for many reasons. But yeah, I think it's amazing, just like those comics in the Golden Age are amazing. I think it's amazing that somebody was able to do this in 2008 without like causing a huge stir and boycotts the way that they've done with certain other artists like Dave Sim and things like that, where they've kind of been run out of the industry. But yeah, that's what I have for today. But that is a huge book. Actually, I forgot to mention, if you look over here, I have a print of this book. I've had this for a while. Right here. It's the exact cover. It's a print of that hanging, and I think this is going to go right here. I'm going to create room, and this comic will be displayed. It's like a magazine-sized comic that'll be displayed right next to the print artwork. And yeah, that's what I have for today. Let me know what you think. I'm sure any Bruce Timm fan who comes across this video will be pretty wowed by that one, and but I also think that Archie artwork is so super cool. I think all the Golden Age horror stuff is cool. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know that I'm not just screaming into the void. Anybody out there, I know some of my friends are watching these, and I appreciate anybody who's kind of stopping by and watching. Cheers for now. Bye.